My name is Jocelyn Woods and I live in Cambridge, Vermont. I am the writer, director, and actor in the movie project Hysteria Praecox. This September, in collaboration with Montreal-based filmmaker Claude Charlebois, I will be bringing my bardic theater to the cinematic medium. I invite you to an adventure of absurdity, a voyage into the realm of the impossible. Hysteria Praecox derives the inspiration for its title from archaic psychiatric diagnoses, such as hysterica passio, which translates directly from Latin to mean the wandering womb. Hysterica passio was a disease often ascribed in antiquity to women who were seen as going beyond the social norms, women who were sexually and emotionally expressive, often deemed as heretics, witches burned and condemned at the stake, and social deviants. Seized by the moan of the oceans, heave, plundered by the privilege. In combination with dementia praecox, praecox having its Latin root in that which is precocious. Hence, hysteria praecox could translate to mean the precocious wandering womb. The curtain beckons to stroke my trespass. Oh, scent of waking floral day, for I have flown through the strings of the weaver's harp, where muses nine beguiled Merlin. Lingua hysterica cunnilingus apocalypsis. Oh, my bride, our eternity shall not wait. I am hollow. It lays the groundwork for a new theatrical cinematic medium, which I am calling the Theater of the Gods. It is a platform of expression, merging nonsensical riddle, Shakespearean-inspired theater, and esoteric invocation to render a neurobiological stimulus designed to form a window of eternity. I firmly believe in my heart that the greatest function of any artistic medium is not when it cages us to preconceived perceptual boundaries or accepted societal norms, but takes us where the art medium itself cannot go, hence forming a window, the portal of the O, the empty round digit of the fool, my primary character, through which we touch the cheek of the unfathomable. Hysteria Praecox tells the story of a hysterical fool, which I first took on stage this summer. In The Fool's Riddle, Hysteria Has No House. 74 years imprisoned on the island of Hyperborea. Hereby represent all fools, miscreants, hysterics, incurables, madmen, and outcasts, and am sent therefrom to make a proclamation on their behalf. For never a fool did have a will with which to wish. Thus on his stage he plays the fun. Am I the only voice that sits betwixt the I of thee and thou of me? Blasphemy! Merrily merry freedom, not the goatherd a slating masses means. I shall not by force of fate climb a bridge that's built in hate. That my father's father should have a name, I bid to break the chain. Eat the apple, fuck the core, I don't work for you no more. I am outrageous, unruly, rude. Hysteria Praecox tells the story of a hysterical fool, as a character and as a scriptwriter. It is from the perspective of both the observer and the participant, both the witness and the role player, immersed at once in both the undifferentiated and the differentiated. Having severe scoliosis caused by lack of muscle tone, it requires that I transport while lying down in a horizontal position. Once transported to the location and accompanied by a team of 3 to 5 caregivers, I will then be transferred directly from the stretcher to my wheelchair from which I will deliver all of the scenes. We will be filming on location throughout Vermont, possibly also Montreal, using stark, feral, wild settings that contrast with very stately, royal interiors. Why the archaic terminology of insanity? Because in a society based on shallow fulfillments, hyperlinear patriarchal addiction to scarcity, and disconnection from our authentic core expression, it is easy to call our culture and our world mad. But what if that which cannot be defined, defies genre, shatters the gated paradise of preconditioned boundaries and trespasses where men most fear to go? That which cannot be defined is shunned, because we fear anything non-categorical, anything that we cannot place within our societally condoned delineations. Hysterical praecox trespasses where angels fear to tread, cancelling out the madness of society by introducing the madness of divinity. It catapults your senses into a divine insanity, that is, a madness without a method and a rhyme without a reason. A madness so thoroughly unfettered that it becomes the gateway to the unknowable divine. One of the primary characteristics that differentiates humans from other primates is that we have the unquenchable urge to throw ourselves completely into achieving that which has been irrefutably proved as impossible to achieve. Hysteria praecox dares to utter that the destiny of humanity is godhood, because humanity has at its core the drive to transform the unknowable into the known, a bridge unprecedented by any other species, in which our performance art is the direct interaction between the possible and the impossible. It embodies the human experience and pushes it over the cliff into what Goethe's Faust would call the ocean of the mothers. When we dive beyond the confinement cast by the stranglehold of reason, we free the voice of the hysterical woman, the precocious wandering womb, the miscreant, the fool. When we free the voice of the fool, we are making a theatrical invitation to idiocy. When we make an invitation to idiocy, we are making an invitation to that which is beyond mortal boundaries. The vision for this movie project began to form when I was on the cusp between life and death, and beheld the segregation of body and soul. Born with a neuromuscular disease, I encountered various dangerous respiratory illnesses which put my life at risk and showed me firsthand the mere reflections of spirit and flesh. As I healed and experienced what was for me a personal and miraculous resurrection, it became apparent to me that my inevitable next step was to use my resurrected flesh as my art medium. This birthed the ecstasy of a crippled project, the resurrection of passion, in which I pose in semi-nude erotic art photography with the lens and mastery of Thomas Dodd. As I examined my poetry, I began to realize that it took the form of dramaturgical expressions. I went from being a poet to a playwright without knowing it, without conscious thought, which mystics refer to as spontaneous genius. Now it is my dream to bring this stage project to a cinematic fusion, in which I will be working with internationally renowned photographer and filmmaker Claude Charlebois, who has begun to bring poetry and photography together already through his groundbreaking project Tonal Visions, which aims to highlight the luminosity within the core of every human being. I will be playing many roles through complex interlaced poetic chapters, sometimes as the scriptwriter or the scribe, a hysterical woman who births the character of a fool who has no identity and yet can put on or off the garment of any role, and hence has a poetic and a political license. Hysteria praecox will combine dance, music, acting, bardic riddle of poetry and esoteric mystery in the unveiling of the forbidden, the veneration of the hysterical, the unhinging of the rational mind, This is a story I want to bring to the stage, to the streets, to the cinema. It is the apocalyptic, blessed and cursed disrobing of our core nakedness. And it absolutely requires that you, my precious audience, embodied in the character of the perfect stranger, participate directly by bringing your subconscious psychology onto the set to strip naked on the set beside me. In this mutual beholding of self in other, all walls disappear and we taste the sublime sweetness of that nectar of immortality which drives men and mystics alike to madness.